Most burglaries are committed by opportunists, so the advice is to make it difficult for them. Simple precautions can be just as effective in putting them off, keeping your home safe and secure.
The invasion of one's home is a traumatic experience for all of us. We associate our homes with our family, with our friends, places where we can feel safe. And the violation of that home by a burglar is a dreadful experience, and one that we're trying to reduce for everybody in Northern Ireland.
We'd been to the cinema, but left the patio doors unlocked. I'm usually so careful.
We were on holiday. Luckily there wasn't much damage. I just wish I'd cancelled the papers and got somebody to lift my post.
Well, someone kept me busy at the front door and another one went round the back, and he got in the back of the house and stole my purse.
When I went to assess a house, I first of all looked to see was there any cars in the driveway. If there was no cars in the driveway, I would have approached the front door, knocked the front door, asked for somebody, any name at all, and if nobody came to the front door, I would have walked around the back, and breaking in the back door would have been the easiest option.
Burglaries happen everywhere, and a lot of the reasons why they happen anywhere is because the burglar is given an opportunity.
In nearly 1/5 of burglaries committed across Northern Ireland, the burglars don't even have to use force. They get in through an open door or a window. Make life difficult for them. Good, visible security really does help put them off.
A burglar will look for somewhere where it's easy to burgle. It might be it's an area where everybody's at work during the day, there's very few people around. It could be a property which is on the end of a terrace and therefore you can leap over a wall and not be seen. It might be an old property where the windows are loose.
When I went into burgle houses, I would have turned the house upside down. If I knew that person was just gone to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, they wouldn't be back to 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and get as much as I could.
Very often, the opportunist burglar will simply see an open window, a door, no one around, and take the opportunity to go in. They will be quick, they will be looking for things that they can grab.
Changes in the way we live are reflected in what a burglar wants. Many items such as digital cameras and mobile phones are now smaller, lighter and easier to steal. They're also easier to sell and much more attractive to burglars, so try not to leave your valuables lying around, including your car keys.
Generally the type of items that burglars are going for now would be smaller, high-value items like iPods, MP3 players, mobile phones, jewellery and cash, of course.
See, even TVs are late now, you know, the flat screen ones are late. So they would be a big target, flat screen TVs, anything that's new and expensive, where they can get money, they can get a good price for it.
I think it's important to emphasise that a sought-after item now are high-value cars, and if you leave the keys at a spot where the burglar can just reach in and take them, then you're obviously presenting a golden opportunity on a plate to the burglar to take your car. And again, the house keys, obviously, if they are close to an open window and you can just reach in and lift the house key, then you've got open access to the house.
The backs of people's properties are perhaps the most vulnerable, particularly in urban areas where there's alleys.
You look for a weak spot, maybe in the back door. I never carry tools with me. Most things are found in a person's back shed. I would have opened the door with a spade, or a window with a spade, or just broke the window. It was very easy. I just said, well, it's that window or it's that door, and just got in.
Burglars don't want to be seen, and they want to be in there for as short a time as possible. If they're going to come in through a window, which they may make that difficult for them to do. If they need to get through rooms in the house, make that difficult for them to do. If they're going to try and sell a piece of your property, make that difficult to sell.
Security at the front of the house is important because that's the first part of the house that the burglar will look at, and the first thing they'll be looking at is natural cover in terms of high hedges, fences, etc., which will prevent their entry into the house being seen or detected by possible passers-by. So you want to keep hedges at the front of the house fairly low, and if you can secure a gate, all the better. And the most obvious thing is to lock your front door.
There's a lot of information out there about the kinds of locks that are very difficult for thieves to break. But it's not just about the lock, it's about the routine of locking your windows and doors.
It's important that your back door is locked and that your windows are closed when you're out of the house. And even when you're in the house, you shouldn't leave your back door open, because opportunist burglars can nip in through the back door, take items and leave before you even realise they've been there. And that's particularly important, I think, for older people as well, because they may feel more vulnerable. So I think it's very important to keep the doors locked. Even if you're expecting someone to call, keep the doors locked. Lawnmowers, trimmers, gardening equipment are all highly desirable commodities for the burglar and easy to get rid of as well. So don't make life easy for the burglar. Put them away and lock them up.
Don't leave a key around your property. Don't leave it under the mat, don't leave it under a plant pot, because a burglar will find it. Leave it with a neighbour. Tell the neighbour when you're out, look out for each other. Make sure that you increase the risk to the burglar, and make sure that when you come back your property is secure and all your valuables are still with you.
It's important that if you are going on holiday, that you take steps to make sure that your house looks like there is someone in it. Think about asking a friend or a neighbour to come and check your house every day. Lift post from the front door, because that's one of the first things the burglar will look for. Make sure your milk is cancelled. If you have a burglar alarm, switch it on. It's a good idea to put it on before you go. There's little point in having an alarm and not switching it on. And I think it's important, it's a good idea to have some sound in the house, perhaps a radio playing. From the point of view of lighting, you can purchase actually timing devices that will make a lamp come on in the house. So it's not just a question of leaving a lamp on for 2 weeks of your holiday, because clearly that's not going to serve much purpose. It's much better if the lamp is seen to come on and off regularly, which would make it look as if someone was in the house. So those are simple steps and quite inexpensive steps that can be taken.
Burglar alarms are a good thing. When a burglar looks at the properties and assesses the likelihood of risk, what they're looking for is people who haven't taken any action to make it difficult. One of the big actions you can take is to have a burglar alarm.
A good idea also is in terms of encouraging or joining a local neighbourhood watch scheme, because those schemes generally have high visibility signs all around the area which show that there is a neighbourhood watch scheme in effect, and that can act as a deterrent as well to opportunist burglars who will see that the scheme is in operation.
It's very important, and it's very easy to mark your property, particularly your valuable property. But please keep it out of sight, because again, just by passing a window of a house and looking in and seeing a digital camera on the table, that in itself is an incentive. That makes it worth the risk.
A UV pen is one that doesn't actually show up, but when a particular light is shone on it, you can see very clearly a postcode or a name on the property, which makes it much easier for the police, if the property is recovered, to make sure it goes back to its rightful owner.
Don't take a burglar for granted. He can get into your house if he really wants to. Just make it hard for him and keep your home secure.
Well, we bought a couple of timers and set them for different times of the day, and it was so easy to do, and it gave us peace of mind.
I have an alarm and I always put it on. It just makes me feel that wee bit more secure.
Someone did try to break into the house, but the police told me that the window locks that I had on kept them out.
I never leave my keys near the front door. It's the first place a burglar's going to look.
We cancel the papers and the milk, and a friend of mine comes and lifts the post.
I'm always going to use that wee security chain.
The Community Safety Unit puts a considerable amount of investment into victim support in Northern Ireland, and we encourage everyone who's a victim of crime to contact their local victim support scheme. And they will be there to offer emotional support, counselling, advice, and a whole range of other services should you require them.
If you want to have a full crime prevention survey of your home done, and the vulnerable areas highlighted by the crime prevention officer as to what steps you can take to make sure your home is more secure, then just contact your local police station and they'll let you know where exactly the crime prevention officer is based, and you can make an appointment for him or her to call out with you and give you that advice. It's invaluable, but it's free.
Remember, there are simple steps you can take to protect your home against burglary. Lock all doors and windows when you go out, even for a short time. Don't leave valuables like jewellery, digital cameras, iPods, cash, including car keys, lying around. Lock them away. Make it look like you were at home, even when you're out. Pay particular attention to security at the rear of your home. Mark your property, even your bicycles and power tools, in the shed. If you have a burglar alarm fitted, use it every time you leave the house. Assess the security of your own home now by going to www.howsecureismyhome.com for an online assessment.